it's all for play for still.
I think so. Do you want to bet against us?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Love of Paul McGrath podcast. I am not in my normal spot at the minute, but I said I'd come on and do a team sheet tantrum. I don't even know if this headset is working, but it does give me Chris Kamara vibes from presenting live at Stadia. But anyway, Aston Villa versus Man City today, early kickoff. Paddy is over at the game. He's going to try and get on in a moment, but really interested to see what the team sheet is for this one. More or less a full deck to pick from today, minus Jacob Ramsey. We know that Tyrone Mings is back, and we know that Leon Bailey is back as well. Whether they'll be playing or not, I don't know. But it's going to be really interesting to see what this team lineup is like. I see somebody Shane Coleman has put in there. Onana. I wonder, is that something? But is that something about inside knowledge about who's playing today? But it wouldn't surprise me to bring in a bit of heft in midfield. Somebody like Onana, but they're all good problems, good selection problems to have all those good players available. Whether we can make anything of them in this game today, which is kind of a strange game because this game last year would have been box office for a different reason. For the reason being that Aston Villa and City would have been at this time of the year fighting it out for top spot in the league. This year, we're still fighting it out for top four spots, but obviously both teams being on bad runs doesn't exactly help that. But the team is out. Let me just try and pop it up here. I'm working with only one screen, so let me just try and find the team there, and I'll pop it up. The team is out. So let me just share this with you guys. And there we go. We have Onana there as well. So Martinez in goals, Cash, Konza, Pau, Digne, Kamara, Onana, Tielemans, McGinn, Rodgers, and Duran. And that's an interesting lineup because we spoke about whether Unai would go back to the back four or play with back three, and Paddy called it. He said that he would go back to the back four for this one, which to me is interesting in itself, but not surprising having that width from Cash and Digne out there on the left-hand side, bringing Rodgers into the team, going with a bit more heft in midfield. As I said, I think this was definitely the design of this was to be able to bring in those kind of three central midfielders there with Onana, Kamara, Tielemans being able to play in that central role. McGinn will be pushed out to probably the right-hand side. Rodgers probably out to the left-hand side, and Duran probably up top on his own. That's how it's looking to me as we will set up. But we'll see. Jimmy Carr says, morning Neil, you're looking very healthy for a lad who had a few shandies. I do not feel healthy this morning. I do not feel, your health is your wealth, and I do not feel wealthy this morning, and I'm certainly not after the night I had, and I definitely don't feel healthy either. It was a struggle to get this done this morning, but we have to push through these things. We have to push through these things, as I say. So look, it'll be interesting to see. Look, I know there's in the comments, people are saying, is Tielemans going to play in the 10 role here? That's quite possible as well. I would say that we will be very kind of not low block, but mid block and midfield. I think this is going to be to stifle the ability for Man City to be able to own that middle of the field possession. They're going to have to go through us or go over us to Haaland. Not having Rodri there is obviously, people are targeting the midfield when they play Man City currently, and it's been working for some teams. Let's see, will it work for us? I'm not averse to anything here. The midfield will be fluid. Like, the midfield will be fluid. I don't think it's going to be strictly a 4-4-1-1 or it's going to be a 4-5-1 or whatever, but I do think that there's opportunities there for players to roll in and roll out of certain positions and have fluid movement there, so that City can't just play triangle passes around us in midfield. I would say would be the idea behind this here. So let me see if I can get up the City team there. And while I'm doing that, some of you guys have mentioned, so Bear in the Garden is saying swamp the midfield. Absolutely. It works against us, so let's see, can we get it to work for us? Max Hunter says Tielemans in the 10. Absolutely. Don't disagree with that. I never went through the subs, actually. Someone has mentioned about Carlos not even being on the subs. So subs bench is Robin Olsen, Tyrone Mings, Nedeljkovic, Bogard, Matson, Barkley, Buendia, Leon Bailey, and Oliver Watkins on the bench. So no Diego Carlos in there. I don't think he's injured. I don't know is the answer why he's not in there. I don't know. The rumors will spread that it's the 21st of January. What happens or 21st of December? What happens in January? I presume the rumors will start to swirl based on that. Or Unai Emery will come up and say he has a small injury that he picked up in training. So either way, Diego Carlos is not there today. Let us see the Man City team. Let me just bring this up here. Oh, Man City have gone for a gammy looking lineup thing. Here we go. That's gammy. Is it just me? But does that look gammy? Anyway, it's yes. So Ederson, the big news I suppose out of Man City yesterday was Ederson, and Ruben Diaz wouldn't make it, but Akanji was back. So there's the lineup with Ortega and goals, Lewis, Stones, Akanji, and Gvardiol. Kovacic in midfield with Gundogan, Bernardo and Foden, with Grealish and Haaland then making up the final 11. Look, he's he's shuffled the deck there as well. We all know, we've all read the Twitter links and the Facebook links and whatever about Jack Grealish not having scored an X amount of games. Make of that what you will, and also Foden not having scored an X amount of games. I don't know if there's anybody out there that likes to do accumulators, but it might be worth a fiver to put a bet on both of those guys to score today. Their bench is made up of ex-Aston Villa legend, Aston Villa legend, Scott Carson, the man with the best job in football, is on the bench. Kyle Walker, Nathan Ake, Jeremy Doku, De Bruyne, Savinho, Simpson, Pusi, O'Reilly, and McAtee are in there on the bench as well. So a very youthful, very academy-based ending, I suppose, really to that substitutes bench. But they do have massive talent in Doku, De Bruyne, Savinho, Ake, and Walker to be able to bring in there as well. Like 5 absolutely fantastic substitutes to be able to bring in there if needed. So yeah, this is definitely going to be a tough one. Without making any sweeping predictions, like you have to look, or I'm looking at their midfield, and I'm looking at the age of Gundogan, Bernardo, Kovacic, and I'm not saying that age is prologue of anything else, but like that to me seems like the reason why we would play 5 in midfield. If you can get in around those guys, stop them moving, stop the triangles, because they're going to play triangles. They're going to want to play triangles. Bernardo's going to be the most mobile of those guys, of those 3 guys inside in there as well. Stop them playing intricate, intelligent football in there by just clogging the lanes. What better to do that than bring in somebody who's 6'6" and gangly is all day long? He's like putting a clothesline across the middle of the field at times because of the length of him. So you know that you would think that's going to be that's going to be the tactic probably in the early part of the game. Stifle midfield production, make sure that Grealish and Foden have to come back to get involved in the play, try and starve Haaland up top. The longer you can starve him, well, actually, it doesn't really matter whether you do or not, because he's a guy that doesn't need production to be able to get the ball in the back of the net. Like he's a prolific striker, albeit he's not firing on full cylinders at the moment. But like, you'd prefer not to see him with the ball at his feet as well at the same time. So that's going to be interesting. I don't know. I still, in all the games that Ortega has played in goals, I still don't know whether he's a good goalkeeper. I still don't know whether he's a good goalkeeper at all. So from the production element point of view, you know, having him having him in goals, why not pepper him with shots? We don't do it an awful lot. We probably should do it, but we don't. You know, and that's something that that Villa will have to do today. Because being at home, or home form has been a lot better. Being at home, last game before Christmas, I expect the crowd to be raucous. I expect Villa to want to go out and win, and to do that, guess what? You need to take shots, and I hope Villa will do that. There's a man after joining the stream here. He's walking down the concourse of Villa Park, I think, at the moment. I can see those lovely claret-coloured pipes and stanchions and support beams and stuff like that over his head. I'll give him a moment because I'm not sure whether I'm going to be able to hear him because I couldn't hear the intro music when it was coming on. So we're going to have to play this one literally by ear to see if we can get... no, there we go. I'll be able to hear him here. I don't think anything's coming through this microphone, so I'm going to take it off. Let me know if the sound quality goes bad, but I'm going to take this off because I don't think the sound has been routed through here, even though it's telling me it is. So let me bring on Patrick and see. Paddy, how's tricks? You have to find yourself a nice little niche little nook there in the underground of Villa Park.
Well, I'm hoping there's still enough coverage for you to hear me.
Yeah, got you now clear.
Great. Yeah, it's a exciting team. We're all excited about what's upcoming. What do you think yourself? Are you enthused? Does it look attacking?
I don't really care whether it looks attacking or not. I don't care. And what I care about it is, does it look like, when you look at it, is there a smart plan in place, or does it look like there's a game day tactic? And for me, it does, and that's what it is: to be fluid and mobile in midfield, be able to block those lanes, but still have the ability to, 2 people to hold and 4 people to go and attack. I've been saying all like for the last 6 or 8 weeks that Villa have to get brave and trust to defend with 4 and attack with 6, and this sets up to do that. Onana and Kamara can stay at home. The whole rest of the midfield can flood forward. Getting Tielemans passing the ball a small bit further forward might be no harm as well. This allows us to do that, and then secondarily as well, this game will be won. This game potentially going by both teams at the moment could be won in the margins, and having 6'6" in the box for corners, both defending and attacking corners. You want to be looking at it than looking for it. That's my view on it. And we still have horses on the bench to bring in. That's the beauty of it.
Well, that's it. There's I know we had an in-depth discussion during the week whether it was going to be a 5 or a 4 at the back.
You nailed it.
It's definitely a 4. So yeah. I think he thinks they're there for the taking. I haven't seen the Man City team. I was trying to read it there while I was in the green room, and I couldn't really see it. I can't really see it. So you probably have to.
Ortega, Rico Lewis, John Stones, Akanji, Gvardiol, Kovacic, Gundogan, Bernardo, and Foden, Grealish, and Haaland. So my thinking on that is like that midfield, while it's not a static midfield, it's obviously still got industry in there. Any team that's Bernardo Silva in there is going to have industry in there, and same with Kovacic. But you have the player that's going to slow it down a bit in Gundogan. He's lost a small bit of a step, but not upstairs. He's still the Teddy Sheringham upstairs, but he's the Richard Dunn downstairs, from the point of view of movement. So getting in around that and stopping the triangles and, the intricacy that he can bring to 5 in midfield does that for me as well, or at least attempts to do it.
Well, I think that's where the game is going to be won and lost. If we can stop them playing through the lines and we can get somebody tied to Erling Haaland and keep him quiet for the day, there's no reason why we can't be looking for a victory here today. And I know that sounds bizarre, considering our history against Manchester City, but we've got to believe at this stage. We've got to believe that they're there for the taking. They've had a poor run of results, and let's hope we're on the up. And I think this is a game that could genuinely kickstart the season. It could also give us a major kick up the arse, but I just don't see that.
First of all, thank you so much to Joystick Media. Absolutely, thank you so much for that. For Super Chat. Cheers, and I hope you have a Merry Christmas, and I hope this kicks off everybody's Christmas being merry with a win today. But really appreciate that, Joystick Media. That's so nice of you. I actually, there's one there that I highlighted. I'll come back to it later on as well. But C Line has mentioned there that I'd say both teams aren't filled with pace. It's going to be about smart, intricate build-ups. Rogers' ball carrying ability will be massive. I agree, but and it's okay to think he's a really good player. He's got such promising ability, but it is as plain as the nose in your face and my face that he does over carry at times. He does run into trouble as opposed to running out of trouble sometimes, and that's going to be a learning process. So bear with him on that. I think everybody he's earned the right to bear with him on that one. But all he needs is one run to come right. And as we've seen previously, what was the game that he scored? That belter from outside the box as well. So I want him shooting more. I want him to be a small bit more greedy from the point of view of taking pot shots as opposed to trying to beat every player twice before getting that ball in the perfect position. You know, you just have to look at Duran as well. Duran to bully Stones and Akanji. I don't think anybody can bully Stones and Akanji. We're going to be honest. I think they're cracking defenders, and I don't think they ever get bullied as such. But if there's somebody that can get them scratching their head with a bit of maverick ability, it is our Colombian chaos merchant, John Duran, for sure.
Well, I think that's what it's all about today. It's all about getting them scratching their head. It's doing something a little bit different and really putting it up to them. And there's so many different opportunities within what we've picked today that it's just, I just can't help but be excited. Now, I know from many years of work that this could really bite us on the arse. But you really have to be enthusiastic about what he's put out there, because it's an attacking lineup. He's moved Tielemans into a more advanced position, you would imagine. And you got to hope that this will really kickstart the season. I don't think there's any reason why we can't be dreaming of 3 points here, or maybe I'm just a dreamer.
No, I think, look, there has to be something in the both teams' 10-week runs of up and down form. City's arguably worse than Aston Villa's. There's something in that. So there is something that is clicking. I think Ruben Diaz and being out and Ederson being out is a bit bigger of a deal than it was, than I probably made of it, because Ruben Diaz is just a cracking defender, and so is Manuel Akanji. But Pep has been playing Akanji as that holding midfielder through parts of this year. He's been playing him at left back or right back as well, bringing him in that what he used to do with Stones last year. Akanji's been moved around kind of like a Swiss Army knife. So he's back in that central defensive role. Really good defender, don't get me wrong, and you're going to earn your money against him. But I think that Ruben Diaz is incredibly underrated for this City team. And then obviously you lose the man behind him in Ederson, who's not having the best season, admittedly, but still is a cracking goalkeeper. You know, the two of those being out, I think that's in our favour. But they're able to bring in Jack Grealish and Phil Foden, both of them who are kicking duck eggs at the moment. But look, you know, both of those have goal dust in their feet, so they're going to play well today. They're going to have good games. I was joking when I said a $5 bet on both of those to score anytime probably is what's going to happen. I think we're going to need to score goals to win this game. I don't think this is going to be a 1-0 win.
Oh, absolutely. I think this could be a 2-1 or a 3-2 or even a 3-1. There's definitely goals in it. We're going to need more than one to score to win the game. The one thing, it's great that Ederson isn't there, because he's just so good with his feet. I don't think Ortega is as good. So I'm looking forward to seeing how we deal with that and how we press that. And look, we've got the bodies there to do it. It's going to be one hell of a game of chess, and hopefully we're the victors at the end of it.
What's the weather like over, Paddy?
You know, it's actually not that bad. There's a few spits of rain, but when you get caught in the breeze, it's absolutely Baltic. So there's a breeze blowing. But if you're lucky enough that you're not in it, it's not too bad. But the conditions should be a little bit difficult on the pitch, I'd say, if that breeze is getting in there. So we'll see what happens when it kicks off.
The reason I ask is because there's a couple of people here from New York. Richard is in New York, and he's up early for this one. He says that it must be snowing outside, and the wonderful Fonda music as well. So much snow on the Lower East Side, but still get out for a beer for this one. It's very important that you get out for your beer on this one, and best of luck with your tour over there. You'll get home before Christmas, because I want to go for a beer with you as well. So thanks a million for your comments as well, and thanks a million to Mark Willis. Merry Christmas, lads! A big thank you for all the work you do, Mark. Genuinely appreciative. That's incredible. I'm always speechless whenever I see any super chats and stuff like that come in. It really, we just spoke about snow, and I don't want this to sound patronising or anything, but it really does warm the cocktail to my heart that people would appreciate the work we put in. And it's not even about appreciation, but that it means that much to people that don't actually pop money into the stream. So thanks a million for that. It's very very much. And I think we have one here from Bolg as well. Bolg is just after popping one in. Thanks so much, guys. Merry Christmas. Thanks for all your content this year. It keeps me going. You're more than welcome. We do this all day, every day, if we could, if our lives didn't get in the way of it. And actually, I want to just pop up while you guys are being so thankful for it, is that the 90-minute podcast we did, Paddy. Apparently, people want more long-form podcasts. I'll talk shite all day long, so that's no problem. We'll give you 3-hour podcasts someday as well if you want it. That's no bother, because I actually enjoyed it as well. And spoiler alert, I had a couple of hot whiskies before that as well, so that's why I was a bit opinionated, I think, at times. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Well, I've no problem in a Q&A format. It's becoming more difficult with so many matches to talk about what the manager is going to do, because he's capable of doing anything. So if people are open to us talking about new things and doing Q&As and stuff like that, give it to me all day long. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely is right.
And thanks so much, because when I arrived over here this morning, I met so many people. Just shook my hand and said thanks very much for the podcast. I love it when people come up and say that, because sometimes me and you will be sitting on the couch going, "Oh shit, this is a chore. We'd have to get up at 9:30 and do this." But when people, as you say, put in super chats like that, or any type of chat, engage with us anyway, it makes it a whole lot easier for us to go and do it. So thanks to everybody who are met today. Such legends, absolutely brilliant people are met today, and I'm sure we're going to meet more of them, because I'm going for a few points with Kieran O'Callaghan after the match.
Brilliant. Are you meeting Jay? Were you with Jay this? Or you're meeting Jay later on?
Meeting Jay later on. Yeah.
Brilliant. Shane Brown makes a great point here. McGinn versus Jack down the same side. I think there's something in that. I think there is something in that.
Yeah, it'd be interesting.
And he makes an even better point here. Games between friends can be very bad. Yeah, it's. I didn't even think of that. There could be a couple of feisty ones early on there to try and set down a marker. Interesting. Yeah. That's a great call actually. The two of them playing on the same side is going to be interesting. Look, before we probably have, like, we're 21 minutes into this. Definitely 15 minutes of it would have been talking maybe about Duran starting up top. He's earned his position up top. It's not even a conversation point for me anymore. We're just so lucky to have two rotatable strikers like that. I found it was interesting as well that Ollie Watkins came out during the week. Both Ollie Watkins and Emi Martinez came out and were very self-critical about themselves. Understanding this, I call me a sucker or call me naive, but I like when sports people are self-aware, more so than anything else. And I think when Ollie Watkins comes out and says, "Look, it's not been great. It's been stop-start for me. I completely understand. I'm not hit the ground running." And he's talking about coming back to the Euros was difficult for him getting to his stride, and he knows that he hasn't hit stride. Same with Emi Martinez saying he hasn't been good this year. He's been poor this year. Where do you stand on that? Do you think it's lip service? Do you think it's because they're reading what fans are saying about them, or like? I'm taking it fully at face value that they're self-aware, and it's nice to hear that they're aware of that, and it's okay to be self-critical. But I've seen it's lip service.
I can only comment on it from an old school point of view, in what the old school manager would tell you. And the old school manager would tell you, to be totally honest in interviews, if you feel you're not playing bad, because it does spur you on that little bit. It does let the fans know, hang on a minute, I know that you're upset that I'm not doing particularly well, or I'm not doing the things I used to do, but I'm working very hard to get back to the level that I was at. And I think that's important that the players say that. Some players are so arrogant that they can't even see that they're that way, and we could probably pinpoint a few of them, and it's worthwhile. Like I love to listen to John Duran 2 weeks ago when he scored the goal that was offside in Leipzig, and the girl said to him, "Oh, you didn't score the second goal, it was offside." He goes, "No, I did score." I like that. He's going, "No, I scored. I wasn't offside. I scored. It's a goal. Yeah. I scored." And you're not taking me down a peg or two because it was offside. So when you're up, talk about being up. But when you're down, it's important to be humble and speak up and tell the players and the people that play the wages that you're not happy with how you're doing. I think that's really important.
Yeah. This is what I've been wondering as well. How the heck is Paddy getting such smooth Wi-Fi in Villa Park? Incredible. I don't know. Maybe did you get the password off Chris Heck or something, Paddy? Because you can barely. Yeah, whatever network you're after toggling onto over there when you're on roaming is absolutely.
I'm only on 3G, so it's working all right. But it's starting to fill up here, so you might lose me fairly quickly.
Yeah, I was going to just say, if you want to get to your seat as well, or get something to eat or get a beer or whatever, I'll let you crack on. What do you think the score prediction is going to be today, Paddy?
I'm going to be very, 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 very optimistic and go for a 3-1 win. I'm overcome with optimism this morning. Having seen the team, I watched those Man City players getting off the bus, and they looked like they were carrying luggage on a holiday, a long haul flight. That's what we're doing when they're on the bus. I've never seen fellas just so hunched over and just so beaten. So I hope we can tap into that today. I hope we can score early. I hope we can put pressure on them at the back. I hope we can force them into mistakes. And I just think with all of this, there's a win there to be taken. And I know I'm being optimistic saying 3-1. I would snap their hands off a 1-0 win today.
Yeah, I said that we're going to need to score goals, but I can't see us scoring 3 goals. But I think we think if we are to win, it'll be a 2-1 win. I'm going to go 2-1. Look, realistically, my head is saying this is a 1-all draw written all over it. But I'm going to go 2-1 for my prediction. So yeah.
I'm gonna leave you because I keep getting.
You go for it, Paddy. You go for it.
Trying to find somewhere quiet, but I keep getting moved on. But have a good one. Everyone enjoy the game, and we'll try and get on later on. If not, we'll talk when I get back.
Brilliant. Yeah, brilliant stuff.
Have a good one.
Yourself. All the best. Bye-bye. Brilliant. Yeah, it's good to get him. I didn't think I'd get Paddy on today, but it was good to chat to him there, especially even if we got a weather report from Villa Park. That at least we got that. So yeah, I think I'm going to go with it. I'm going to go with a 2-1 Villa win. Let's be optimistic. It's Christmas time. I need to be optimistic because the shadow of the depression from the hangover is beginning to creep in early this morning. So I need to lift my spirits. But so I'm going to go down through a couple of your scores here, and then I'm going to leave you guys to it. But before I do, thank you so much to Richie Wise, who has become a member of the on YouTube as well. Thank you so much for that, and also to Richard Noyes. I really appreciate that, man. Points. Again, guys, thank you so much for absolutely everything that you do, and thanks to everybody for commenting. You know, it's not like super chats are brilliant, and we really appreciate that from everybody. But don't ever feel you have to, if that makes sense. Commenting here is enough. It's all about the interaction, creating a community and a family here within the podcast. So thank you so much to everybody, and thank you to everybody who watches us or listens to us on any of the platforms, as always. Where are my scores gone to there again? So I'm going to start off here. Dream Villain is going with a 3-1 Villa win. So is Bolg is going with 1-all. Audrey is going for 3-1 win as well. So is American Villain, and so is Brad Barnett. 3-1. Yeah, it seems to be a popular one. John Duran is 9-5 to get 2 or more shots on target, Neil. I think that is a very, very tantalizing offer there for sure. As we know, he likes to shoot from crazy angles. It's the hope that kills you, says Sniffrat. Absolutely. All I have is hope this morning. It was 3:30, and I didn't even roll into bed. I rolled into a couch in someone's house. So which is where I am at the moment. So feel sorry for me. And it is the hope, but the hope is all I have. Richie Mack is going for 2-0 Villa. Jordan Levy is going for 2-1. Debbie Hingley is going for 3-0 clean sheet. Mark Wood is going for 4-2. V for Villain is going 3-2. Ranger is going for 3-2 as well. And Mike is he's 13-year-old, is a City fan. He hopes I hope we batter City, and don't batter your child. That's I hope we batter City for sure. Flange is going for 3-2. People looking in the door at me here. Adam is going for 5-1. Where Paul McAllister is going for 2-1. 3-2. Says D to the B to the D to the B to the H. Slow on that today. And O'Grady's going for 2-1. I'd love him to keep a clean sheet. Andrew Long is going for 2-0 as well. Or sorry, 2-0. And is going for Rob Henry's going for 1-1. Says his head says 2-1. His heart says 1-0. Says Brendan Townsend. Elizabeth Farrell is going for 2-0. Philly is going 0-all draw. Dennis White's going for 1-all. Richard is going for 0-all draw as well. Shane is going for 2-1, and the Bladnetter is going for a draw with 6-6. I'd settle for a 6-6 draw. I'd be entertained anyway. Stephen Bride says he's a bad feeling City will return to form. 5-0 City, want nothing more than to be proven wrong. 3-2 says Sam Dixon, and 1-0 says Bertie W. So thank you so much everybody for the score predictions. With regards to a post-match podcast, just thinking about the times. I have, so we're going to see the wonderful Santa Claus as well today after the match. So I'm just not sure will I be able to get on for a post-match podcast, but keep an eye on any of the social media streams, and we'll let you know, dependent on times and stuff like that. But I'm going to leave you guys get to your seats if you're at the stadium. I'm going to let you guys get settled in front of the TV and get whatever you need from a sustenance point of view. And as I say, don't count on there being a post-match podcast, but if there is one, consider it a bonus directly after the game. So we'll obviously come on tomorrow to chat about it, myself and Paddy, once we're back in the land of the living again. So thanks so much, everybody, for watching and for listening. As always, here's to an Aston Villa win, and we'll talk to you again soon. All that's left to say is up the Villa.